Greetings, everyone. Here's Lodrick, and this is a game war in the Pacific Admit Edition. This is my second play by email match against KilRoy. This is scenario 1 with the 27 beta map. And KilRoy have the option of working torpedoes for the Americans at the start of the war. Eva just fall. Not sure. I think then there's nothing left. At the beginning of the match, I more or less damaged their two-dozen enemy P-40s, but at the end I was never fast enough to capture the city, to destroy these airframes. But it still helped me to secure the dominance at the air. So there was never really an attempt from KilRoy more to defend so far any air attacks in the Philippines. So I find here one AG, so a cargo ship, and one PC, a patrol craft, convoy, escort or whatever. Kitties, nothing happens. And here's now a nighttime engagement. Unluckily with only 3% moonlight, but so this was maybe also the reason why we have a distance of 2,000 yards, so this is the closest possible. There's no 1,000 yards distance, so a little surprise. But this is a Boise, so this is an American light cruiser, and maybe some other light cruisers, looks like Dutch light cruisers. And for me, it's 4 battleships. The 6-inch shells of Boise normally cannot penetrate anything at my battleships. Risky is if there's a torpedo attack. It could be dangerous. And because we are here only 2,000 yards away, every gun can more or less shoot. Also the flak gun 25mm. Not that they will do any damage, but this battle will need maybe a little more time. So the firepower is normally totally on my side. I have the 36cm or 14-inch guns, and the Java Boise, they all have only 15cm or 6-inch. The risky question is if there's a torpedo able to hit my battleships. This can very easily turn the tide of this battle. I also have only 2 escort destroyers to shield my ships, and at 2,000 yards sure, we will see. So the Boise is very successful. I'm not sure if they have radar. Maybe it can happen that Boise have already radar, so that they can operate in the deep night with nearly no moonlight much better. The Japanese have maybe the better training for night-time engagements, but if there's no moonlight, I think they also suffer. Okay, there's a 12 centimeter hit on my destroyer. But it looks like that my escort destroyer is taking or lure the enemy destroyer torpedo attacks on them, so not on my battleship. So this is why you need escort. They can shield the main capital ships against torpedo attacks often. So the Allies creating much more hits, but okay, up to now, this is the first real big hit. The first 14 inch or 36, and there's a second 30 inch. Java had now 2 heavy hits. Yeah, this was all. So at the end, a lot of shell hits, most of them are 6 inch, I think, on my battleships. But they all don't penetrate the armor, so they're all surface damage. Java took in the end 6 shell hits, but only 2 really matters, I think. But it's already heavy fire. I mean, 2 14 inch or 36 centimeter. This is for Java. Java is only a smaller light cruiser. Not so sure if it can handle this so much. So this is now my carrier fleet. This is normally the fleet the battleships protect. So first there was engagement with my cover force, and now the enemy fleet is approaching my support carrier fleet. And the Allies making the crossing the T. The only benefit I have now is that more or less the Allies are out of torpedoes, I think. Ammunition they maybe still have, but hopefully they don't have more many torpedoes. A 1/6 inch shell hit my light cruiser. But now he has also a 14 centimeter shell hit on the Boise. Oh, the second hit, but they are not penetration of the belt armor. They're all more or less at deck damage. The Reuter also get a hit, and the Dutch light cruisers, they all, I think they have only protection against destroyers, but the Japanese 14 centimeter or battleship secondary are too strong, and it can always penetrate. So the Reuter already get 2 critical hits. Boise have the next. Boise compare have a stronger armor. So the 14 centimeter cannot penetrate Boise. And one hit on my support destroyer. But you can see already that these destroyers are smaller. These are all both second class destroyers. And this is my scout cruiser. Also take part of the battle. Okay, so at the end, no disaster. Boise was not so strong in this battle, and we share both some damage, but nothing critical so far. So air, night raid, Kuantan airfield I think again. And this time KilRoy can find and kill one of my Nell bombers, luckily. And my rowboat failed in wake. And you can see there's a cruiser mine layer, so this means more or less KilRoy also mine now wake. So I think it's time to better take my sub out of the base. Good. Phoebish assault, only to finish off this Australian forces. And now it's daytime. And here is Mutsu and Nagato. And maybe they're able to finish this enemy task force now. The allies are out of ammunition. Now it's the Japanese have the crossing of the T. And the first shell immediately hit the Reuter, even if it's only heavy flak. But a 6-inch shell hit also hit my destroyer immediately. Some 12 centimeter shell hit Mutsu. Of course, no chance to really penetrate. And my ship's closing in. So Mutsu and Nagato, they have also this 14 centimeter secondary batteries. So the main battery of light cruisers is the secondary battery of battleships for the Japanese. Most of the battleships. And for the Japanese, they say more or less they don't want the 15 centimeter, what is more or less common. 14 centimeter, simply you can you have more rapid fire. You can get 1 or 2 more shells per minute maybe out. And the firepower is normally enough still to stop an enemy destroyer with 1 or 2 hits. But I don't know if this really works in this game so well. If you have more fire, yeah, more shells outgoing with smaller caliber. So up to now many shells but not many hits. And the distance is increasing. One more hit on my destroyers. Yeah. And now finally at the end of the battle, Mutsu make a heavy 40 centimeter hit on Boise. After all these many shells. So the allies trying to escape now. One more. So Boise is still fighting back. Now I have already 2 or 3 destroyers with 6-inch shell hit. 1 hit is maybe possible to survive. 2 hits is already critical for a destroyer. Okay, one of the Dutch destroyers getting a heavy hit, but maybe it's over penetration or something like this. And Boise gets a second heavy hit. Still no flooding. But we have the range is maybe now too great that it's always now deck hits. Boise still is able to hit my ships. So now I have 2 destroyers heavily damaged. Looks like the okay, yeah. The allies are out of range. They don't have the range to attack my ships. So Nagato and Mutsu can shell a little, but they don't really create more damage. So the battle was a little disappointment. One of my destroyers is heavily damaged now and heavy fire. This is not a good combination. Boise gets 2 hits, but still nothing really important, and the Reuter the same. I can only hope that my carriers will launch an airstrike and maybe finish this task force now. Good, some landings. And this is my patrol boat. Finding a small AKL, 1 shell hit, but my ship only have an 8 centimeter gun, so that is not enough to sink a ship normally. And this is my 2 carriers, Hiryu and Suryu, but and running into this enemy PT boats. But this is daytime, so they cannot catch up. And this is my heavy cruiser formation now. So now this is I think the third of the battleships, carriers. I think this is the third or fourth Japanese task force engaging now this American Dutch task force, and the Americans are maybe now already out of shells or very low on shells. So we'll see if my heavy cruisers can now finish the job. This is now 20,000 yards, so maximum distance more or less than the Japanese torpedoes. Compared to the, I think, American, British, they all have only like 6,000 distance for torpedoes only. So, but Boise is still able to create damage, making here 2 fast hits on my heavy cruiser, but no penetration. So shell hit number 3. Okay, little fire on the deck. And these are now the Japanese better first line destroyers. You can see already that they are bigger, and they also carrying 5-inch shells or guns. They have much more firepower. So the range is still closing. And now here are the 20 centimeter hits on Boise. I mean, 40 centimeter is of course much more powerful, but I really don't know if the game have something like over penetration that simply will not even create much damage if simply punch through the whole ship but no explosion. 20 centimeter shells for sure will explode here and create a lot of damage for Boise. I think 3 hits already. This was now penetration, 3 hits with penetration. Now Boise is in trouble. $8,000. But there was just a collision. So one of my destroyers hit my heavy cruiser. So the Japanese give the Allies a chance, I think. So this was also the secondary battery for my heavy cruiser. They're using only 12 centimeter guns. I don't know why. I think there's one design of the Japanese heavy cruisers. I think the first design. They don't have this 12.7 heavy flak. They really have 12 centimeter surface guns only. So hit number 4. More damage for Boise. Heavy flak gun. And now also the Reuter gets some more attention. And slowly but steadily, this Dutch destroyer escort getting damaged one by one. Next hit on Boise, plus a 12 centimeter. Yeah, so you can see that there are so many quick, one hit after the next on Boise. Boise is already very slow and cannot maneuver more, so it's much easier for my ships now to hit this. Unluckily, you don't get any upgraded information. Would be nice if you maybe go over the ship and then you can see what is just the damage just in that moment. What is the modification? But of course, the game is a little too old for this. But maybe if there's ever a next or a similar game, maybe they can imply this more tooltips and direct information on the screen. Yeah, and boy, it's so slow now. One torpedo hit. And these are the long lens torpedoes. They're really powerful. Then the Reuter is, I think, also dead now. And most of the Dutch destroyers are burning. They can fight still back, but the question is if they can survive this. There's still the air phase coming. Boise is already sinking. But it was a very tough fight. So many battles at night. And create a lot of damage on my own ships. Maybe nothing to really think. Maybe one of my destroyers is in a situation there's a possibility to lose the ship. But I have a lot of ships getting damaged who need repair. And I consume a lot of ammunition, so I have to pull back anyway. So, because Boise is no more, now the Reuter is the number one target for my heavy cruisers. And the Reuter have simply far weaker structure. And the next surface torpedo hit on a destroyer, this is also of course an instant kill. But two more hits on my own ship with magazine explosion, so this is maybe the next destroyer I will lose. Yeah, so one of my destroyers was unlucky. I think this was also the destroyer makes a collision with my cruiser. But what is really killing my destroyer was this magazine explosion. But the Reuter is not dead. The Reuter only don't want to think, but it's very clear that if every shell is a hit more or less, then it's not more moving. And this is now the finish hit more or less. Similar to Boise, a surface torpedo hit will break the ship. So both cruisers are dead. That my heavy cruiser can now finally concentrate the fire on enemy destroyers. And the 20 centimeter are also very nice to finish these destroyers. So every ship in the Allied task force is now damaged, burning. Still, many of my ships also have damage, but I think they are all okay. The only ship was really blown up by pieces with this magazine explosion. And maybe here is also one, you can see that the fire is simply stronger. But for the allied ships, every ship is more or less dead. Or at least heavily damaged. Yeah, unluckily my heavy cruiser cannot finish this destroyer, so even if they're burning and maybe handicapped, at least most of them are able to ditch my shells. Most, but not all. Okay. So 29,000 yards and still a hit on a destroyer. I think this is very good quality of training. And not in only one hit, second hit. This is super long range. And there's one, so if the cruisers really want, sometimes I have the feeling that the Japanese heavy cruisers have better training and better firepower, or at least hit chance than the battleships. So you can see that the Dutch and the Boise, both light cruisers going down. I lose one of my destroyers directly, and the second one is heavily damaged. The rest are on fire, only fire, no heavy damage. And for the Dutch, it's more or less everything on heavy damage, fire, 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 heavy damage, or sunk already. Good. This was a lot of navy battles today. Yeah, and here's one other cruiser formation finding a British destroyer. But it's 31,000, so I think they can. Yeah, the scout was able to disengage. So the question is if there's no any airstrike needed to finish this Dutch ships, or if they simply sink one by one now. I mean, the only chances for KilRoy maybe to reach Surabaya, go to the shipyard, but the question is how long it needs to fix this kind of damage. And there was I think there was just a West Point. And if I remember, West Point is a super big American AP. So why it's in Java? What kilo I try here? So the allies locating my carriers. Okay, no surprise. Sweep over Clarkfield, but no enemy fighter more. So my sweep over Surabaya. And there are some British and Dutch fighters in the air. But they both have no chance against this already very trained, well, with a lot of experience, zero pilots. So, and also my Betty bombers going with torpedo attacks, finishing off some cargos, trying to run somewhere. And there was some troops on board. Maybe KilRoy tried to escape with some equipment and was hiding somewhere, but now the ships are all dead. Manila have still some air cover, and also the Seagull trying to defend the air. This will not end very well. And I also sweep Bali Papan. There's one Dutch Buffalo. Now not more. And the next attack on airfield with Clarkfield. Well, that's also damage. But more is coming. Now it's the Japanese army. Okay, that was not so good. Now Dutch bombers coming out of Surabaya, but they're running into my cap. And these are Dutch twin engine bombers. On paper they are not so bad, I think the real issue is only that the pilots are not prepared for this kind of attacks. But these bombers can carry 300 kilogram bombs. 300 kilo. If it hits a cargo ship, it's damage. It can maybe even penetrate the deck armor of a heavy cruiser. I'm not so sure. But I don't want to try. But they need escort. Escort is coming maybe here out of Batavia. So KilRoy also threw everything what he have. The problem is he's now Hawks. And Hawks are not really much better than a Buffalo. At least in this game here. I would say in reality I think Hawks are better than Buffaloes, but I think they're also not a match for a Zero at the end. They're still... This is the other generation. Good, most of the enemy aircraft getting defeated, but there's still some Dutch bombers coming, and maybe with a little luck they can create a hit. Maybe the British? No, the British are not even attacking the correct target. And on the way out I can take maybe also one more with them. But I also lose maybe 1-0, but you will see. Maybe the pilot can survive. And more Dutch bombers. And this time I think my pilot was maybe busy. So this guy was lucky. They can attack without interception. But no hit. And KilRoy attack here normally most of them is 4,000, 5,000 feet to avoid the light flag. So 4,000 feet is in range of light flag, but 5,000 not more. So most of them KilRoy flying 5,000. Why he changed now to 4,000, I'm not so sure. And there are also some bombers out of Kendari going for my heavy cruisers. But they miss. And more bombers. So if they come maybe all together, it would be more dangerous. But if they split up, my Zeros are able maybe to regroup after some time. And this is also still bloody. But there's still more coming out of Batavia. Now the super great demon fighters, plus the super good Falcon dive bombers, light bombers. My Zeros don't even bother with the demon fighters, they're only going directly for the Falcons. And you can see that the Falcons are carrying these 50 kilogram bombs. They can coming very low. This is really a low level Navy attack. But 50 kilogram general purpose. Yeah, this is also, these are only scout bombers normally. But this pilot know what he is doing, or he has simple luck. And he can create a hit on my carrier. But it's only 50 kilo. So there is a bomb hit on Soyo, but it's not even on fire. And now the most dangerous, the wildebeest. Oh, this could be now. And all my Zeros are busy and out of action. This is now the critical moment, but first the flag is coming. And then the British failing with the torpedo attack. They even carrying torpedoes, so everything was correct. And now the P-40s are coming. So this turn is where we had a lot of navy battles and a lot of air battles. It's only that here somehow at the end, the allies are simply not really doing too good. They're taking some of my ships with out of action, that for sure. And more wildebeest. But this pilots, they're going for the wrong target. And now you can see, this guy's doing great. They created a torpedo hit on my battleship. But why are they attacking a battleship if they're carriers? Ah, yeah. And I bet he's trying to clean up here more cargo ships. Also, one torpedo hit, and there was, I think he has a base force and Porta Princesa, and maybe KilRoy try to evacuate this ship. But now I think it's dead. Maybe it will not sink, but it can also not more leave the port. So now it's my airstrike. And KilRoy used all his fighters maybe for escort, so there's only one Dutch Buffalo left. That is easy going. But what I find here is only a cruiser mine layer. Yeah. That is not so important. And here's the scout. The scout dodged my heavy cruisers, but they not able to dodge this K torpedo bombers. And even if they don't have torpedoes, they still very skillful with bombs. So 3 or 4 hits on these destroyers are enough, I think. And even more. Yeah, so 4 bomb hits, this ship is dead. And here's the next destroyer getting destroyed. Yeah, that's it. 5 bomb hits, sink immediately. On the other side of Java is a small AP. Okay. Yeah, I'm out of torpedoes, but it makes no sense. I still have some sorties left, so 250 kilogram bombs are enough for everything what is not heavy cruiser or battleship. So this AP will also not leave more support, I think. Good. And this is now more or less now my carriers. They trying to finish up what, yeah, they finish what is left over from this British, no, from this American Dutch task force. And these ships are all, I think, slow, so they are more easy to pick. And every torpedo bomber nearly can create a damage. Yeah. They're all dead, more or less. So they survived maybe this first battle, but now they are really heavy fire, heavy damage, sunk, and more. So all 4 destroyers are dead. But there's more coming out of Surabaya. And no zeros, this is still the morning air phase, and my zeros are my cap is simply burnt out. So there's a free attack on my carriers, but no hit. But there's more. Crazy. So really, KilRoy throw everything on me, what is possible, in one big attempt to maybe stop the tide. But no luck for him. or no skill or whatever. So very packed action turn. So this is now the second destroyer going down. So I sunk more or less, I don't know, 6 Dutch destroyers and 2 light cruisers and losing 2 of my own destroyers. I mean, it's still a victory for Japan, but a little unlucky. I mean, to losing 1 destroyer, I would say is okay. Losing 2 destroyers, and more of this mini cargo ships. 2 out of 3 also with troops. At least they tried in low level attack again. And in the afternoon, this airstrike out of Batavia have better coordination. So now the demons and the warhawks can give cover to the bombers, but now there are simply not more many bombers left. Okay. And you can see my zeros are simply too good. This is maybe the final chance, but no, the flag is too strong. Every airplane getting it decimated. Nothing is surviving. High casualties for the Allied Air Force here, and no hits again. But maybe the crazy scout bombers trying one more time, they can bypass the zeros. Yeah. No. All damaged or destroyed. Good. Some British bombers out of Rangoon. Damaged the base. Okay. Porta Princesa. It did. Torpedo hit, but no explosion. And some AMs, they also will not escape. Plus some one cargo ship, okay. One AM and a cargo ship, okay. And this I think all are ships from Singapore, Palembang, and this is also dead. Okay, no more airstrikes. This was, I think, a very long turn, similar to the first turn. And there's one more destroyer having some trouble. But at the end, I can create one more hit on a DMS. So a little payback for my too many lost destroyers in this niche or long engagements. Uh, some cleanup. Chinese troops are retreating. So they're retreating northwest, blocking now the rail. Not that it really matters too much. This is also some Chinese corps. I cannot really see where they're fighting just now. Somewhere. Maybe they're coming ice, maybe they was in the hex and I kicked them out, maybe. And this is now here this dot base. Can also take. Yeah. And the second battle for this Bull base force and equipment. The Australian trying to run. I have here still casualties on my side, but I can destroy one of these three guys. And the rest is still in the hex, so I can attack next turn again. This is now only bombardment. Guam still will not fall. I mean, the allies have much more casualties, but one more turn. So this was a very long turn. I could maybe shorten it, but there's not so many navy engagements. So I was thinking, okay, let's see. And yeah, it was a victory for me, but still the losses are a little high. Sometimes I have the feeling. Still, the air war was very good. 97 to 10. This is of course a very good ratio, but you can also see that these are most outdated Dutch airframes, not good pilots. But I also was able to at least kill 5 of these Warhawks. And the British lost a lot of these twin engine bombers. So for me, it's 3 buff. I mean, better to check it like this. So I lost 10 airframes. 5 of them are these Navy bombers, plus all a little. So I lost really only 1-0. And the Allies lost 97. The numbers maybe will not add up, but 97 is the true number. And out of my 10 airplanes or airframes, I lost 2 pilots and 1 is wounded. So, and I think last turn I had only 1 guy with 6 kills and no other. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 aces. Yeah. Here was very busy today. So a ship sunk last turn. I lost 2 second class destroyers. So these are really good ships. I mean, not the best ship, but this is more or less like the American best, I think, Fletcher class destroyers. I'm not more sure. But you can see they are roughly 1,700 tons. So this is the I think the lightest first class destroyer the Japanese have. But anyway, they are first class destroyers and they have already deep water equipment for sub hunting. So losing 2 ships is of course very unlucky. I think this had this collision and then later the magazine explosion. And this one simply also sunk. So for the Allies, this turn, this is really only the last turn. Java and the Reuter plus Boise plus I think 4, 5, 6 destroyers. They are all Dutch destroyers. They are all only, you can see the weight. This is similar to a Japanese second class destroyer. They are not good now. Similar to Japanese destroyers now. They are not good now. But they can get also similar to Japanese destroyers in 42 or later in 43. They are good for escort duty. And if everyone need escort ships. So if you don't have enough escort ships, you must use real destroyers, and this is a waste. So kill these destroyers now, force KilRoy in the future maybe to use real destroyers for escort duty. Yeah. So, but the Java and the Reuter, this is this kind of light cruisers are not so powerful. They are good enough to fight enemy destroyers, but nothing really more. You can see that the armor is only 50. That is, I think, not really. I mean, compared to Boise with 135, that is much more. Really much more. And also, this ship have 40 hit points. In Java is only 27, and the Reuter only 24. Good. So, not bad, but I really don't like to lose first class destroyers. So if you can see now, I have all dates, lost of destroyers. Destroyers. So I have now 3 first class destroyers already lost. Yeah. So land war was not too much to change here. Still, I took a dot base here. Here's also some industry now. Light industry and resources, fine. I was able to kick out here this Chinese out of this base, and I also clean this hex. I must still kick this Chinese unit, but there's not much to fear. Then the highway out of Shanghai is maybe open. But again, out of Shanghai, if you want to cross the river here, you can see this is a new map. There's no bridge, so you must take a ferry, so this delay everything. And the rest was no activity, nothing really here to see. Malaya also was nothing. We had a bunch of airstrikes here at Java. My carrier was a little lucky. Saw you get a 50 kilogram bomb hit, and the damage is 1 engine damage, 2 system damage, but I cannot tell you if this is from the bomb hit or it was maybe simply by running the ship. So no damage, you can say, because a 50 kilogram bomb hit in its general purpose, it's never will penetrate. Even if the deck armor is only 25 millimeter, but this is nearly nothing, but it's enough for, let the trigger go, and the general purpose bomb will not penetrate the ship. And everything what is penetrating or exploding on the surface will never really hurt the ship too much. It will create system damage, but normally not more. So, of course, I'm out of torpedoes. I'm low on sorties. My zeros are tired. My pilots are... this is, I think, the escort. Yeah, this guy was on escort duty. They was escorting my strike forces. And here I have 2 zero wings. They was this guy was on sweep. They going for Surabaya. They have also a lot of kills or a lot of experience here. And the other air wing was this was a cap air wing. So I had 1 air wing only on cap. And these guys have nearly a fatigue of 30. So you can see that these pilots are really, they're taking, I don't know how many missions they did today. I think 5, 6, 7 missions maybe today, and they all get experience. Here's a guy to have 1, 2, 3, 4 aces in this one air wing. So very successful. AM. It looks like here are 2 ships maybe still left. And this is 2 destroyers getting a little, they're not more in good shape. This is my heavy cruisers. They all have a little damage, but nothing critical here. These are my battleships, Nagato and Mutsu. They're completely empty. They consume all of the heavy shells. This is not often that I can see this. Normally the task force commander always try to keep 1 or 2 shells and try to disengage. Here's 6-inch shell hit, no damage. This will not penetrate this armor. And here you can see 2 other destroyers heavily damaged, and plus this one. But this is only a 2nd class destroyer. This kind of destroyers, I would say, take it. I really don't care this so much. This is a ship I would say, if you must die, then take it. And this is a 1,000 ton or 900 tons, so this is never anything really good. They will normally, at early 43, always convert them to escort ships. And for escort duty, they're good. They have anti-torpedo, anti-submarine equipment. They have firepower for anti-aircraft, and they have even radar. So to lose this ship is also that bad because these are early ships with radar. So, and Japanese never have enough destroyers or escorts. Yeah. Okay. So next turn I will lose this ship for sure. There's no way to save this. But I hope I can save the 2 other destroyers. And here is my light cruiser. Also, this had also collision. Too many collision. And where's my carriers? Here. This one had a shell hit, but nothing too critical. And this light cruiser gets a from Boise shell hit, but looks like only surface damage, no penetration. But I have no torpedoes more, so I can use now bombs, but yeah. There was a lot of action, so we had a lot of action here. We had a lot of, here was a lot of sea battles. Here was non-stop air battles, and at the end, the Zeros more or less did their job. And my strike aircraft was also active and sunk a lot of ships. And I finished off here all of the destroyers, more or less. So this Dutch cruiser formation destroyers are all dead. If it was worth this trade, I would still say it was okay. Yeah, here are still more ships running around. Maybe I can pick them up. Oh. So much action, so that here in Rabaul there was not much to see. I tried to finish off this Australian forces only. Bring in more equipment and build here as fast as possible the base for Rabaul that I can later on jump to the next base. Guam still won't not fall. So no Tokyo Rose. Normally I was waiting for a Tokyo Rose and say something like sinking the carrier, sinking the battleships, but today there was nothing. Very strange. Maybe she's on vacation with her boyfriend or something like this. Or maybe I forgot to send her flowers, so she was not talking with me today. Anyway, then see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.